Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How's that, Jerry? Can hear me gulping? Good. Cool. Okay. Well, everybody. Morning. Happy Tuesday. Love seeing it. Cool. We'll go ahead and get started. We got lots of good stuff coming up here. So for the folks online, always feel free to unmute yourself and speak, though. We encourage that mass participation. Reminder to stay on after the sales. Same link at 12:30. We'll begin that mastermind. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to forego my my cup of Joe deal. Instead, I got a video on Zillow and Opendoor, that big announcement that some may have seen. For those who haven't seen it, Zillow and Opendoor on a multi-year agreement now. So instead of the Zillow offers program that failed miserably for them, they've partnered with Opendoor. So now you can sell your home on Zillow to Opendoor. So that's how it's working right now. So see how that goes, trying to make it as easy as possible. So there's a great little video from Chris, is part owner of Lab Coat Agents Facebook. If you're not part of that group, I'd highly recommend joining that group. It's for agents. There's a ton of valuable content on there, but he has a great little video explaining kind of that whole partnership and what that looks like for us as agents going into the future. So again, we're at 12:30. We're just going to jump off of the meeting at 12 or so, grab a quick bite to eat, and then we'll jump on that mastermind. So thank you. Next up, broker update. We're custom signed officially from the GMRcore.com website. Agents now have the ability to order signage through GMR Core or through the direct company website, buildasign.com/EAS/Greater Midwest Realty. So we have a bunch of templates loaded up there. So it's nice and easy for you guys to, even just if you like our default generic GMR signs that we provide, you can use those same ones, just put your phone number instead of the office phone number. So nice and easy, and then your name, so you don't have to have a sign writer. But again, you have the ability on Vista or on Build a Sign now to customize all that as well. So that's up and running. GMR Bucks announced. So GMR Bucks winners will no longer be announced moving forward. Any currently existing GMR Bucks the agents have will still remain valid until they are redeemed to the brokerage for whether it's your office or your monthly dues or any apparel that we have. So we opted and said we'll spend the money on the lunch, provide more people, get them in here, and spend the money that way instead. So that's what we're going towards. So again, if you have those GMR Bucks, they are still valid. Come in and use them up. Next up. And speak for folks online, or if it has any upcoming solid listings that you want to share or any buyer needs, now's your time. Let me grab a mic just in case. Anything? I don't blow out. Thank you. That will probably be coming soon in the next couple of weeks here. We got carpet coming in on Thursday. That's a 5-bed, 3-bath, built in the 60s. Completely remodeled. Probably $375 to $400. Aggressively price it just to get rid of the dang thing, and we get multiple offers, great. If not, we're still a bit. Everyone.
Fixer upper 3-bedroom Rambler in White Bear in about a month.
Okay.
If anybody's looking, needs a little TLC. We're motivated to sell.
You're literally surrounded by 3 investors right now. We got them. Yeah, exactly. The uglier the better. So yeah, feel free to, again, Jenny, right next to you. We have a group of investors ready to go.
So we were out, I was expecting to hear a PA system. So we were out, this last weekend and we showed 7 houses and, put in 2 offers and priced over the asking. There was still multiple offers, in the $3,000 range house. So
Okay.
I just wanted to let people know.
Still out there.
No way.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crystal.
Yep. Great area still.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I listed one in crazy deal. I listed one in Big Lake this past Friday, and my comp, maybe we can get 507. It was and the other comps, there's split entries, detached garages, and one had an in-ground pool and sold for 507 within the range, right? Ours was a okay, so we listed at 485, right? Thinking that's that in-ground pool. We'll give it a couple thousand. Offers 150 grand for this price. Like or something like that, because that bit of a praise for 535. So that was a win for my sellers. Right? But again, it's pricing it right. There's still buyers out there. There's pent-up demand. Carry the home date for people that. So as of now. So story that I'd share. Next up. So we have our very own Tim and Jill. We're going to go over kind of everything that you guys will see on your side, how to submit. Again, change just a little bit. So they're just going to walk through, and then you guys will have all the opportunity to ask them any questions you have. Again, we've gotten great feedback from it. Even some of our top producing agents who used to just email everything, right? We walked them through this and they're like, oh, that's actually pretty dang easy. So again, they are up here for your Q&A and to show you everything and how to do it. So without further ado, take it away.
Great. So yes, everything is changing for the better. So if you go to login, so if you haven't logged in yet and fill this out, your email address, so this is the main GMR core, the mission compliance, and then you're going to have 3 things that drop down. So the first one is going to be buyer submission. If slide that shows. Thank you. Basically what we did is we changed what it looks like when you get your compliance stuff in and it comes back that it's not compliant. Something needs to be fixed. You're going to get a stop sign that's red from us. If it's red, that means there's something that needs to be fixed and it will say it. What we are missing, please resend this through. And then if it is green, changed it instead of blue, it's out to go. And you can move forward. All we need from it is basically we're going to wait for the final Alta, the commission check, and then we'll get it processed for you. So those are the 2 emails to kind of watch for after you submit it in to us. Back to GMR Core. So under this, you can basically click listing input. And what that means is you fill out all the information. You take advantage of our free service that will put it into the MLS for you. So it will get it. She'll input it into the MLS. This is optional again. If you don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. Your information into us for compliance, and you're still going to get those 2 emails back and forth, either green for good or red for non-compliant. And then the last button on here is the compliance file miscellaneous documents. So if you do an amendment, let's say, and we need to get that in for compliance, you would go ahead and send that in through here. So this will your name, your email, and then you put the document into Tim. He's going to attach it to our new compliance system and let you know about that. So 3 forms, basically super simple to fill out. It takes less time to do this than it did emails. We're trying not to send emails into Tim anymore. We're trying to do it directly through here, and he gets everything on that end. So does anybody have any questions about this new system and how it looks? It's super simple. Leanne, you did it last week. Yeah, I've seen it. It's really easy. How long do you think it took you to do it? Yeah, super simple. So Tim, do you have anything else to add?
No. Just in case.
If you need any help with this, feel free to reach out to us. Everybody here knows how to use this. So again, we'll walk you through it. But reach out. That's what we're here for. We're trying to streamline everything. So, you guys. Okay. Yes. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want more information, I'm not going to get into detail because we don't have it pulled up here. If you want more information about using paperless pipeline, our compliance system, those are the emails that are kind of coming out. So you'll get one before closing. It's just a reminder that says your closing is coming up. But if you want to get into paperless pipeline, we're kind of doing that on an individual basis. It's not something that you have to do, but you can definitely, log in there. Eventually, we're hoping that we're going to get you guys to that system, and that you'll be able to do more in there. It's just gradual steps that we're taking to get there. So yeah, if you definitely want to take a look at it, reach out to me, and we'll set up a time and we'll walk through it. Yeah. Anything else? All good, Dale? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you much. Thanks, guys. Another quick thing I wanted to touch on too. So we've separated out the process, separating out transaction coordinator, making a separate company. So we can now go make, we can have. So it's called Soda Transactions. And another cool portion or part of that we've done is we wanted to come up with another company. What do we have it? Did we? I didn't know that. Sweet. Soda Transaction Services. Where can they find it? On GMR Corner.
Services, so go down on this page, and then it'll be under TC services.
Wonderful. Cool. So again, we've separated that. We thought about how do we make an even better company versus just an in-house, right? So we came with a cool solution that we really think hits on everything. So we've added the TC portion that everyone all is used to knowing, but we've also added what does a big thing we've tried doing here, and let me take it back, is when I was at the other brokerage and we had the team, we had our own in-house TC, we had our own in-house marketing person, our own. That was great, right? All of the agents on the team had the resources and that access to those separate people to help them grow their business. That's what a team is so beneficial for. So we created this company, and GMR, you can see we've kind of shifted that too, to the point where you can have all the team resources as an individual agent. That's kind of our big push that you've kind of seen recently, right? With adding all these extra things. So you guys no longer have to go out and hire your own full-time admin, your own full-time TC, your own full-time marketing, right? We're developing these so you can have all the benefits of a team at an individual agent level. So this is our next approach to that. So in addition to the TC service, we also offer an agent services portion of this company. It's $35. We can actually, it's a free consultation, our consultation. You'll meet with us, myself and Jill. You'll go over everything you're doing now, what your goals are, what systems you're using, and we'll take that back and we'll write a proposal, an engagement proposal to you guys on what we're going to do and what steps we're going to implement, and really get you guys up and running again to further your careers and get more transactions. We also have a 1-hour coaching call with myself. That's included within that if you opt into this service. So it's a 1-hour coaching call. This is a crazy value. I paid for coaching in the past. I paid $2,000. Ridiculous thing, right? So I said, I'm your broker, right? And this is also my chance to reach out, or you guys want to have a coaching call with my broker. You know, I've been that as a part-time agent that went to a full-time agent to scale to 59 transactions as a single agent, to started a team, to grow. I've been in every position out there, and I'd love to show and share all that knowledge I have with everybody. So that's, again, that 1-hour coaching session as well within this program. So lots of cool stuff happening. And again, we want to share that out to our agents first and foremost, and then out to other brokerages. So a little spiel there. Charlie, go ahead.
Agents or other brokerages do?
Yep. So that's why we separated that company. So they're not, I mean, selfishly, right? They're going to kind of see, oh yeah, they work with GMR, right? Jill's a licensed agent. I'm a licensed agent. They're going to see our brand out there at some point, right? So selfishly, yeah, it helps us kind of recruit as well. But it is offered out there. Will be. Yep. So that's what we're working on. So, cool stuff happening. Jill's got her hands full. Next up. There we go. Welcome back, Christina Ports. So where's she?
Florida, maybe?
Florida? It's California or Florida? One of those. Somewhere nicer than here. Yeah. Yep. So she just had her license parked, and now she's back to active. So welcome back, Christina, or welcome to being active again from Resource. So. And next up, we have the man, the myth, our August agent of the month, Mr. Kamal. So Kamal's just crushing it. Always friendly to come in. He's got tons of good things happening. He's going to start a team, starting with his son. So he's really grow and leverage some of his time too. Right? So he is in the process of starting a team. So consistently one of GMR's top producers. Kamal is dedicated to his business and conducts himself professionally. He receives constant positive feedback from his clients. It's things we are proud to announce. Kamal is the August agent of the month and can't wait to see how it continues to grow in the future. So congrats again to Kamal. One more clapping session after this for our top producer, Mr. Dave Regal. 6 transactions. Congratulations, Dave. The man is just crushing it with new construction. I mean, he's just doing phenomenal things. I think he's got
6 more in the pipe, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. And 15, 20 deals already this year. And the man's just crushing it in new construction. So congratulations to Dave.
I think like 2 months back, he brought in like 12 files.
Right. New construction's been good to him this year. We'll take that any day. Yeah. All right. I'm done gabbing my gun. Myth, the legend that needs no more introduction. Ed, give me- welcome.
About that.
Not yet. Great.
Yeah, I took that photo, yesterday.
Sure.
It's probably, yeah, 10 or 15. Birthday yesterday. So that was into my 30s, early 30s, but anyways, I'm here to talk about bank-owned properties. I've been with them for maybe 12 years or so. And so I'm seeing more, and I decided on how to find them, how to offer on them, how to represent your buyers on them. So we'll start with Home Path. I do sell for Home Path and HUD, and those are kind of the two larger banks that have foreclosures. So Home Path is Fannie Mae, and so if you've never that they are now, and you don't want to be stuck with a buyer that wants to offer, and you're dealing with registering yourself and obtaining your username and password and doing all that on a Saturday night when maybe the highest and best deadline is Sunday morning. So go on the site, register yourself, get your username and password, and then go find the property. And I had a property pulled up, right? The next one. I'm having audio issues. Okay.
You guys have to log in.
I didn't tell her to log into the site. I just want to go to a property. Yeah, she's on one in Blaine. Just go back to that page. Just Blaine. Just click on that first one. So that's how you search for a property. You just go onto their homepage. There's a search bar. Click the city the property's in. That's all you need. And then they're on the MLS. But this is where you go to submit the offer. So, yeah, to show the property, you go to the MLS, schedule showing just like any other house, and go show it. But if they want to offer on it, you go to this site, you log in first, then go page, submit an offer, and it's all done. Everything through is completely electronic. One thing I want to mention is Fannie Mae will pay on every single one of the properties % closing costs if your buyer income levels. On the page on the right side, you'll see 3% off closing costs. You click on that and there is a income calculator in there. And if they meet those requirements, Fannie Mae will automatically pay closing costs on that deal, no matter what. So, yep. There's a spot. I've had that happen. Yes, they still will, as long as they meet that requirement. So, I don't. They have their own. It's all done electronically. So all the forms are right in there when you click to submit the bid, and then once the bid is accepted, your buyer will receive the contract electronically. Then you'll receive it, and there's no forms to complete. And yeah, there it is. How much can I borrow? Calculator. So go do that, or have your buyers do that. Excuse me. And hopefully they meet those requirements. That's about what I have for Fannie Mae. Any questions on home path before I move on to HUD? Yes. They can be financed anyway, yeah. Yeah, there's an automatic 10-day inspection period on all Fannie Mae properties, and that starts the day that the contract is executed. So it doesn't start the day that your offer is accepted. It starts once everything's been signed. And I should mention there is now a 30-day period where owner occupants only can purchase. So they extended that from 15 to 30, and that's the same with HUD as well. So they're really selling to owner occupants more than investors. Go ahead.
You anticipate, back last round where the water meters were off and you had to, it was really hard to get the inspection set up because the city had to, you know, get the water meters put back in, all that kind of stuff, where there's no way to tell, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. It's more, it's other banks than Fannie Mae.
Mhm.
Our responsibility selling for Fannie Mae is to have these in average to above average marketing
Oh,
condition.
excellent.
And part of that is all the utilities. So they want us to get everything up and running before they go on the market. And Fannie Mae recently changed their strategy too. It used to be where we would only repair the properties or update them if it made sense or the return on investment was good. Now they're just updating every single property they have, every single one. Yeah,
Carpet.
it's a, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have a little bit of flexibility, but not much. They do all look the same. They're gray paint and white trim and gray carpet. So yeah, the whole strategy has changed unless the house is falling over, which even some of those are trying to repair. But so you shouldn't have that problem with Fannie Mae. It's more HUD. HUD doesn't do a thing. They don't do a thing. That hasn't changed. So yeah. Anything else? The website changed for HomePath. It's no longer homepath.com. It's now fanniemae.homepath.com. Go to homepath.com. It's not going to work. HUD. HUD is a different animal. Like I said, they don't health hazards, and then they just throw it on the market. They don't allow any repairs to be done by you, by them. It's just, you get what you see. All of their homes are sold on HUDhomestore.com. If you have not registered yourself on this site, I recommend you do that as well. For this site, you will need the broker's NAID number, which is our ID number with HUD. And you can call the office, you can call me to get that, but you'll need your license number to register yourself. And then you can submit bids on their site similar to HomePath. You would, if you wanted to offer or submit an offer on a house, you would go to homepath.com. Can you go back to the home page? There are only 8 HUD homes on the market in Minnesota right now. So right now, you just go to the home page, click on Minnesota or the state of Minnesota, and that'll bring you to all the HUDs for sale currently. You would find the one that they want to offer on, click on the case number, and then at the bottom of the page is click here to submit a bid. A couple of important things to know on this site, just scroll up just a little bit. It'll tell you right on the properties page what kind of financing the home will qualify for. And that's important if you have an FHA buyer. It will tell you if it will go FHA. It's right on the right side towards FHA financing. It'll say not insured or insured. If it says insured, it will go FHA. They already know that because they've had an FHA appraisal done on the property before it goes on the market. Yep, the FHA they do the appraisal for a couple of reasons, to determine whether or not it'll go FHA and to determine the list price. Whatever the appraisal comes in at is what it lists for. They do, yeah. If you want to bid over, they have to make up the difference, yeah. But, well, let's back up. Your buyers cannot use that FHA appraisal that they had done. So there will actually have their own appraisal. So you would hope that it would be higher, right? But then after that, any additional used to be provided, but not anymore.
Do they get a waiver that 3 months? So say that appraisal came in for them a month ago.
It's like goes away, it doesn't count.
Doesn't
It's like
count.
it never happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a normal situation,
Right.
that would apply.
HUD's,
not-
HUD's by their own rules.
They really
Fair.
are. They really are. Yeah. They will pay them. Yep, they'll pay them. You still have to. You have to be the highest net. Yeah. Yeah. Click on addendums once. It's in the middle tab. Sorry, on the page. And then click on property condition report. On the market, it's a very brief inspection, but the biggest part of this that I like to tell people is they'll test the plumbing system to see if it held pressure. Again, if you have an FHA or a conventional buyer, most lenders are going to want to see the water on for or during the appraisal. And if it's not, it's in a lot of cases going to kill the deal. So if your buyer really likes the place and you see that it doesn't hold pressure, I would contact a loan officer right away and explain the situation and see what you need to do, because it will kill a lot of deals. This report should not take the place of any home inspection. You should always have a home inspection on a bank-owned property. Okay, so I put together just a list of questions, common issues I have when dealing with HUD properties. So I'll go through these quickly so you guys can get to Raising Cane's, is it? Okay, is the Townhome Association FHA approved with HUD Home? Because they do their own thing. It doesn't matter. So you don't have to checking to see if the association is. Number two, I have an investor buyer. Can they bid on the home? I kind of mentioned that already. They have to wait 30 days. Unless it's a HUD home that is in really terrible condition and it is uninsured, then it goes down to 5 days. Luann, I can email this to you too if you want, but I can email all this stuff to anybody. Just let me know. But if it's uninsured, that means the property has over $10,000 in repairs needed, then the investor period or owner occupant period is a little bit less, actually significantly less. How many offers are on the property? There's no way to know. There's no way for the listing agent to know that. So it could be 10, it could be 0. HUD does check, number 5, HUD does check for lead-based paint in the property. Lead-based paint, and this is only if the buyer's FHA. If they find lead-based paint, they will repair it or remediate it up to $4,000 prior to closing. So number 6, do they do any inspections? I kind of mentioned that they do put out that report, and in addendums there are 2 disclosures. There's kind of a another disclosure that will list any repairs that were noted on the FHA appraisal, as well as that property condition report. So, but again, it shouldn't take place of a normal home inspection. List price is determined by that FHA appraisal that they did initially. And then if the property sits on the market, they'll do an adjustment after every 35 to 45 days, where the price will come down some. Number 8, talking about the contract. So once your offer is accepted on the HUD home, it's a similar situation. It's all done electronically. The agent will receive an email that says your offer has been accepted, and to log into HUD Home Store and go check bidder functions and complete the checklist, the bidder checklist. The bidder checklist will have any items you need to upload, which will be earnest money, proof of funds, and I guess that's about it. And then once they receive those items, you and your buyer will be sent the contract for signatures. No more overnighting. No more running to the post office. Yeah. No, you, the only running you have to do is you'll get the earnest money check from your buyer, and then the earnest money check has to get to the listing agent. So there's a little bit of running there, but not like it used to be. No trust funds. No, trust funds does not work for Fannie Mae or Home Path or HUD. They don't do that. But just keep in mind if, so the company that handles the marketing for HUD, the national contractor, is called RAIN. You'll start receiving emails from RAIN. It's RAINE. If they ask for corrections or something additional, just make sure to stick to their timelines, because they will cancel the contract if they don't hear from you, or if you're not responding, getting them the things that they need. They will just cancel that contract right now, and you are back to square one. So just stick to their timelines.
Before when you do this, it had to go out to the broker first. And the broker has-
So I can answer that. You guys can all sign the contract yourself, but you need a letter from the brokerage that gives you authorization to sign. So that's, you guys, we've been doing that for years. It's just a letter to, yeah, yep. So email or call the office. Yeah, ask. It just has to have the company, it's got to be on letterhead, it's got to have the NEID number and your name. Well, and him sign it. Oh, fun. Yeah. Yep, nope, don't have to do that anymore. So when you complete the bid checklist, once the offer is accepted, the docs to upload as well with pre-approval and such. So.
Or, I mean, that's.
Yeah, maybe get that right away. So you
always
have it.
have it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's asked for one of those for a couple of years.
That doesn't surprise me. There haven't been a lot of them. They just started coming back, and as you see, there's only 8 for sale currently in Minnesota. So, but it's okay to be prepared. So, good point. Does the lender have to order an FHA appraisal? Yes, I touched on that. Just because they've done one initially, you still have to have, your buyer still has to do their own appraisal. Can your buyer perform a property prior to close? No, but I put an asterisk there. I have had allowed people to do very minor repairs just in the interest of getting the property closed. I wouldn't advise going in there and completely redoing the plumbing, but if your FHA buyer or a buyer's appraiser notes something very minor and it's going to hold up the deal, I would go out there and get it done and just do it quick. Again, not replacing the plumbing, but something very minor. No one's really going to care. Don't go send the listing agent an email. It says I'm going to go out there and garage. But it's very minor. I've been allowed in the past just to get them done. How do I get the property de-winterized? The listing agent will help you with those instructions on how to do that. You have to request permission to activate all utilities, and the utility activation is the responsibility of the buyer. So if there are any charges to turn on power, water, whatever it is, that is up to your buyer to pay. And if it's during the winter, your buyer will have to pay a charge to have them go back and re-winterize the property. It's like $75, something like that. But if the water meter is missing, there might be a pretty hefty charge to get a new water meter from the city. All that stuff is going to be up to your buyer. Yeah. Yep. I put it in supplements on all my listings. Not all of them do that, but hopefully you can find it there. If not, let me know. I'll give it to you. Yeah. No. There's a lot of different like kind of rules and things. Right. That's right. Just do it like normal, yeah, but again, if it doesn't hold pressure, that's going to be a problem. But other than that, no, just normal. If you're found items on the inspection and they want to negotiate or cancel or what, I'll talk about that for a minute. So HUD doesn't negotiate. If they do their inspection and they want 10 grand off, there's zero negotiation. They will never lower the price. The only time I've ever had them do it is on the very first REO property I ever received was a home in North Minneapolis on 35th and Girard, and it got smoked by a tornado. And so they lowered the price by half from 36 to 18. It's the only time I've ever had them negotiate after. Yeah. But so their only option then is to either keep going with the deal or cancel. There is no negotiation unless a tornado comes over and smokes the place. But if they want to cancel, make sure they do cancel within the inspection period, because if not, they will not get the earnest money back unless there's lender denial. If there's lender denial, they'll always get it back. And 50 grand or more, it's 1,000. 50 grand or less, it's 500. So not a ton, but these aren't typically priced very high either. So. No, that's
500 earnest money.
yeah. 500 if it's on a HUD, if it's less than $50,000 purchase price. So you're not going to see too many of those. Fannie Mae is they prefer 1%, but a lot of them that come through are 1,000, 2,000. Doesn't really matter. Oh, I was going to add, if you have an investor buyer on a HUD and they cancel, they're probably never going to get their earnest money back, no matter what. They don't treat investors very well. So, all right. Let's see. I put this together too. So just quickly, the whole process: register Home Star, get your license number, your NAID number, obtain your own username and password. Check the site before showing. Again, if your buyer is conventional, you check the site before the showing, see that it doesn't hold pressure. You might be wasting your time, might not work. So contact a loan officer and talk about that. See the bidding period. Go ahead.
So, I mean, if you just try to flush it and doesn't flash that.
No, don't wait.
Check it.
In the property condition report.
Oh, just check it.
Yep. Can you go back to that property? And then go to property info. It's one of the tab, great tab. And then scroll up just a little. At the top, right under case number, they have bid deadline. Now this one has gone through the initial bidding period. Every property has an initial bidding period of 10 days, meaning they will not look at any offers until it's been on for 10 days. So I mention this because if your buyer wants to see it and you're on the 10th day and they want to offer, you got to get it in by that night at midnight. Does that make sense? Because the next day they're going to look at every offer that was submitted during that 10-day period and they're going to pick the best one. So if it's been on for 11 days and they want to see the property at 8 in the morning, it could be sold already. You don't know it yet. The MLS hasn't been updated. HUD Home Store hasn't been updated. So try to make sure you get into these properties before that initial bidding period is over. Now this one's through. So now they look at bids every single day morning. If there are no bids submitted, it's just going to restart and bids will be submitted the next day and they'll look at them the next day. Yeah. What was the next thing? Okay, can you go back to that Word doc or PDF? So you check those things, check the bidding period, see how much time you have left, show the property. And then go to HUD Home Store, which we kind of talked about at the bottom. You click on submit an offer, complete the bid form, click submit, and then you just wait. At the end of the bid period, the following business day after it is when they'll look at bids. You'll only get notified if your offer is accepted. You will not get notified if it was not accepted. So you can log back into HUD Home Store, check your bid and see the status. It'll say other bids selected if you weren't chosen. Or is countered. They'll counter you with a net they want to see. If you don't meet that net, they will not accept it. It's very black and white. They're going to tell you they want a net of 100. If you give them a net of 99.9, they won't take it. There's no negotiation there. That's just the bottom line. They'll take at that point. So if you're the winning bidder, you'll get an email telling you to complete the checklist. Just follow their instructions. And the next email you receive will be the signed contract. And then do your inspections and on to closing. That's it.
Good stuff. What do you see, market look for new defaults? You check the Anoka County website, or Anoka County regularly. Where do you see it?
Yeah, so Anoka County has their list of upcoming sheriff sales, and that number has been kind of increasing and staying in the 70 to 80 property range, which is a lot higher than the last couple of years. That's a sheriff sale or two every day. They only go out, I don't know, they only schedule them so far out. Fannie Mae has told us that they are coming. It's not going to be a tidal wave like it was in 9, 10, 11, 12, but they're on the way, and I have seen some pretty good assignments lately. So they're coming. HUD, on the other hand, those are a little slow. HUD is selling a lot of their properties. So not sure how that's going to shake out, but Minnesota might see 6 month right now, which isn't that much, but you never know. There's people saying that it's kind of coming. So hopefully you guys can be ready when it does. Feel free to call me anytime if you have a buyer looking at one of these, or you're in the middle of a deal with a bank-owned property. I'm really glad to help all the time. So
You get assignments, other agents get assignments, whoever's working. Do you handle the area, or are there multiple agents that will handle one, just like you? Or all the metro?
So I have different territories with the different banks that I represent. For whatever reason, my HUD territory is Hinckley, Mora area. My Fannie Mae territory is Chisago City, North Branch down to Hastings. There are other agents that handle those too, if that answers your question, but we have specific territories. Yeah. Yeah.
So at closing time, is there any snafus or anything closing? Maybe use a certain.
There's advantages to using, either your own sellers. HUD, you have to use your own for HUD. They don't have their own closing people. But Fannie Mae, you can use Fannie Mae's, or you can use your own. The problem with using your own is they're going to be doing most of the work, and they're going to get frustrated. So hopefully they've done it before, because they really do. The Fannie Mae has a company out of California that basically tells your title company here to do all the work, and then they send a floating notary, and they get the closing done. So I don't know if that answers your question, but you can use either one, Fannie Mae.
It might be advantageous to use.
I don't really know. I would probably use my own, yeah. But-
If they've done.
If they've done them, that would help. Yeah, they do pay for some of the title fees if you use Fannie Mae's. Like, I don't even know what it is, master policy or something, but I don't know if it's worth it. Any other questions?
Other question is
Yeah.
gonna be more directed towards Paul, with the Minnesota Home Guys, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, because you guys come in kind of before the people get to this. Are you seeing a lot more of this, or?
No, we're seeing people willing to drop the prices more and more. This scenario. So I mean, overall, we've seen a decrease in, like, I guess, how do I want to put this? Yeah, cash offers. We've adjusted and more people accepting them down farther than they were previously.
Okay.
So,
And they just have so much equity right now.
Yeah.
That they can take advantage of it and still walk away before the tenant sees them.
before the, yeah. I mean, we have had several in the past month. I think this week was our third person that, I mean, we had to get it moved or they were going to be foreclosed on. So like, you know, we're on a tight timing to move it to an investor. Because this process has started. So to answer your question, yeah, I guess, yes, we are seeing more. But they're trying to get rid of them before it gets to that process.
I think that's what's going to keep the tidal wave from happening.
Yeah.
Because everybody has equity. They can just
Yeah.
sell the house. Yeah. So. That's the difference right there. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And you want to touch base on just the, on that sheriff sale and who's typically bidding on these homes, or how investors or buyers who are interested in these homes can go out there and find them?
At sheriff's sale? Well, yeah, the bank buys back. We don't typically lose them at sheriff's sale. We lose them to people going in and offering to buy them. And they'll sell because it just gets rid of the foreclosure then. They haven't foreclosed on the property yet, and they just sell it. And a lot of times they make money. So then I don't get it. So people are out there watching that sheriff's sale list, you know, all that stuff's public info. They have to publicly advertise it. Or buy them.
Got it.
I don't know if that answers your question. but-
Yep. We're good.
Anything else?
Any questions, folks online?
You also have to remember.
Yeah. Oh.
That'd be the same with Fannie Mae, too.
I don't. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I also had those late. So be updated. You don't even have to upload a license. You just change the date. And so once you log in, you click on manage profile. There's the license date. You just change the year, and then you can log in or you can submit an offer. So it's just the simplest thing that can keep you from submitting that offer. So it's, yeah, good point. Well, thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate it. Great stuff. Great stuff there. This one. What's right now? Got the lifting. We'll go ahead and roll that, and then we'll just run through because we want to get to the form change, especially. And we got a lot of stuff to do. Listings update, roll video. People wanted. We're good. Cool. Next up, I think we have Dale coming up. So forms. Then we'll have our Wendy. Nope, not me. Let's come up with Bell Bang.
Okay, try to make it quick because I know, okay, well, Rhonda is coming with the canes too, but always want to know what kind of rates are at. So we were kind of, if you're watching get my rate update emails, you kind of see how I break those down. But if you're not, let me know and I can put on that list. It's kind of bouncing around, kind of bouncing between 275, 3. So somewhere in the 5 range, slightly a little lower depending on if you do call. With no as high as like 5, 7, 65, 5.5, depending on how we're bouncing around. So just this morning, a 30-year fixed with 3% or 5% down was 4.99 with a point. 7-year arm was 0.5, and a 10-year arm was about 4, somewhere in that range. Good credit, all that kind of stuff. The other thing I want to talk about was doing some realtor classes. Watching online, you can another slide too. But, essentially, the first one is you are the brand. So the idea is the 5-step blueprint to get more clients, get more deals, make more money, and stand out from the crowd. So the idea behind it is to go over your branding, including your DNA of your brand, your positioning statement, different brand archetypes, how to win attention war, with some content strategies, and go over some, then increase your influence in a busy ever market. But we know Wednesday the 17th from 7 to 8:30. states that it's for the 31st, that's gonna be my public. So the GMR only is 7 to 8:30 on the 17th. If you can't make one, there's another one 2 weeks later. And then the next class will be embracing the shift, which is all about market. Oh, there we go. So the next one's going to be about embracing the shift, which is the shift of the market and how to kind of navigate that on your side of things. So these classes are specifically designed for realtors and for what you guys are going through. I think that's really all I have. Any questions? Sweet. Okay. That'll be it.
Wendy with the title. We're having bad audio issues, so you have to talk like a rod. You're all good.
Like a duck? No. Oh, today, want to talk about contract for deeds. With interest rates where they are, we've talked about HUDs and foreclosure stuff coming. Buyers not qualifying if you've got a seller that's willing to do a contract for deed. The reason I'm bringing it up is I've had a few realtors that I work with in the last week, kind of interesting, asking me about for deeds. So I went, our general counsel, which is Jeffrey Zwiefel of Mark V and Zwiefel. What he said is we are not licensed to draft or create the contract for deed, meaning we can't formulate the terms. So that's where you guys step in the purchase agreement, you're writing the terms in there with the buyers and the sellers. We can act as the legal, he used a scrivener, which is basically writer. So we can, from your agreement, write that purchase agreement or write that contract for deed, which is what signed by buyer and sellers, notarized and gets recorded. That's what we can do. We can't change wording or anything like that. And they generally need to be approved to make sure we are going to be able to ensure that contract for deed once it's recorded too. So it's just another option for buyers alone. If your seller can do it. Did talk to Justus, an interesting thing he added. You said in the first year, someone could basically take that contract for deed and do it as a purchase. After that, they'd have to. So if interest rates, things change a year from now, they can handle it as a later and get out from under the themselves with their own mortgage. So it's just something out there. And what we can do as a title company is we can write of what. Okay. Does that make sense? What can we do? Title company to the contract for deeds. All right. Question.
Who handles the servicing of that contract? Is it a seller or is it a title company or who holds it?
Title companies don't. So it would be, yeah, it would be the sellers. And if they want to hire a company, rental. But all we're doing is the contract for deed is like a mortgage. It's putting a lien on the property for, and that's what we're doing in the closing is just the financing it in that way instead of through like Bell Bank. So sorry, we don't do that. Exactly. Yep. Any questions otherwise? Short and sweet. Contract for deed.
Nice as neat. Yeah, let's chat about that. Got to experience a Ron closing 2 weeks ago for some land we owned. And I said, Jen, I want this, I want to experience it. So like we had a great closing. I think it took under 15 minutes. We were all signed up. From registering to do everything, and you get a bunch of good emails before your account. You can go in documents. Get those live time as well, and then you did. And you just took, so phone number and then put up a link, and then I said, take a picture of the license, take a picture of the back, and then it automatically uploads that for you. So you're verified, like the KYC, know your customer aspect of it. And then it helped because Jen was able to actually see what I see as well. So we kind of walked through it and just went over potential issues and all that good stuff. But it was really easy for me to understand through that email. If you just read through it, connection, seeing what web browser you need, that you actually are set up for it. So, and then I just went through and she explained everything, and I just clicked a couple times, made a signature, and that was that. Oh, it was, congratulations, thank you to Jen. So Jen Pierce is she's working on even a different software that'll make it even easier. Years old to be able to do this too, right? So there's others who are working on developing that software to make it. Yes. Yeah. New software, so we're going to go through that one. But again, I was very impressed with it. It was super easy. Now think about the time saved, especially for your clients. They no longer, and selfishly, it's always the buyer's agent dictates where the closing location is. And if you're working in South Metro and you're up here, you have to go down there, if you're the listing agent, to go to their title companies, and it's efficient for this, for the ability in the driving for title companies. And it's just here doing that as well. So I was I'm glad I got to experience that. I mean, that's pretty much the only way. Jen, reminder. And so Ron is remote online note, just in case we talked about that last time. We're gonna have Dale come on up, give the quick little brief update on the form change. And then I do want to thank the sponsors of lunch, which is the Title Group and Bell Bank. So thank you guys for that. For folks online, or folks in person, you get to enjoy that. We'll take pictures for the folks online so you can see it. I'm just kidding. Oh, good. So in the meeting. So go ahead, Dale.
All right, I'll try to go quick through these. So there's about 6 forms that had changes. We're going to jump right to buyer's moving agreement. Yep. All right. The insurance section was modified to eliminate the buyer's requirement to obtain of liability insurance and naming the sellers and seller's mortgagee as additional insureds. So the new language simply states that the buyer shall purchase and maintain liability insurance effective on the possession date, and requires buyer to provide with seller with an insurance binder, like normal, like you have to get an insurance binder to buy a property or to have a mortgage. Buyer is also responsible for buyer's personal property insurance. So there's a change right there on that. So, all right, so subsurface sewage treatment system, well and water inspection contingency. They added water inspection to the very top of the form there. You see everybody? Okay. Title of this form was changed to well clarify. That's it, just to clarify. Let's go to the next one, buyer representation and buyer facilitator. Okay. So in this one, the committee added language to clarify the buyer is authorizing the assist the buyer in purchasing property located in Minnesota. This was added to eliminate any confusion for members who work in multiple states. Backed by popular demand, the committee reinstated language eliminated last year, clarifying that any compensation negotiated by the buyer's broker from the seller or listing broker shall or shall not reduce any obligation of buyer to pay compensation by the amount received by seller or broker. So right there. Okay. Disclosure statement to the seller's property. Let's go to that one. The last part of the general information section was modified to bring more attention to the question whether the property is part of a homeowners association or has shared amenities. This information was important to know before the buyer makes an offer, so the buyer can determine whether the property is subject to the common interest community statutes. Therefore, the committee highlighted this by placing it on a separate line. The committee broadened the question pertaining to the type of insurance claim by eliminating, insurance claim by, lost my spot. Claim related to the property. The committee also eliminated reference to the receipt of compensation when inquiring if these items were repaired. The new language simply asks whether the seller had the items repaired, irrespective of whether the seller received compensation. In the appliance section, we changed invisible fence to in-ground pet containment system to be consistent with the language in the personal property section of the purchase agreement, of course. So, yeah, okay. Disclosure statement, line number 36 was modified to correct line number references. So I don't think the lines were quite lined up. So they fixed line 36 on disclosure statement. So, okay. Purchase agreement, PA, vacant land, new construction. First, the language pertaining to approval of a grant, bond program, or other loan assistance program was eliminated. The committee's action to remove this language was in response to a member concern about possible misunderstandings pertaining to a buyer's ability to complete a transaction using such financing tools, placing those buyers at a disadvantage in the offer process. If such programs have seller input requirements, that can be negotiated in the seller's contributions to buyer's costs section of the purchase agreement. So discriminatory restrictive covenants are illegal. Additionally, the financing contingency section, written statement, the committee added options for distribution of the earnest money when the buyer does not timely provide a written statement. Parties can now negotiate whether the earnest money will be retained by seller or refunded to funder, refunded to buyer. So, like if you go down a little farther, written statement is not provided by the date. What will happen if there is written statement? So if seller made seller's option to declare the purchase agreement. So it's what will happen in the event of the written statement not going out, or what if closing doesn't happen on time? That's the other option.
Yeah, if they don't provide that. That was always the question I get as the broker too, is, we didn't submit it, can we cancel and get their earnest money? Well, no, in theory, you got to send the notice, and it's this process. So now it's definitively explained on how that works.
Next, thanks. So buyers will be relying on their lenders to timely provide them with a written statement that meets the requirements of the purchase agreement. If the new option retained by seller is selected, buyer will lose their earnest money if they do not timely provide a written statement to the seller, and seller cancels the purchase agreement or does not close by the closed date specified. Be sure to consult your buyer clients about their preference each respective circumstance in this revised financing contingency section. So that's like super important to be talking to that lender to make sure that written statement is going out on time. So if you have a buyer and you selected written statement, have that conversation with them like a whole week before and then the day before, just saying that written statement's been delivered, right? So language pertaining to discriminatory purchase agreement, this new language and discriminatory restrictive covenants are illegal. Just gonna remove section on the title. That there's like a company that does that now. Yeah, there's like a a nonprofit that does that. So residential forms. Transactions with more than two parties. So, I mean, this could happen all the time. So, residential forms, addendum to amendment to the listing. new addendum to amendment to the representation and facilitator service contract was adopted to facilitate appointment of an interpreter for clients needing assistance. So that's understood by everybody, right? If you need an interpreter, this client will say who's like appointed to the transaction, and it probably even says the person who needs the services and like who it's going to be. So yeah, perfect. Okay. Commercial forms. Addendum to PA counteroffer. Language is added to clarify the counteroffer addendum is valid upon signature and delivery of the purchase agreement. Line 7. Commercial forms, commercial buyer rep, tenant rep contracts, exclusive and not. The committee reads clarifying that any compensation negotiated by the amount received by the seller or broker. It's back. PA and agreement land and added to the section of the purchase agreement pertaining to covenants, restrictions, reservations, and restrictions. This new language informs consumers that discriminatory restrictive covenants are illegal and unenforceable. And so just like we know, restrictive covenants are not good. Cool. That's everything. It wasn't that much this year.
No, it's not awful.
Like we didn't get every single form changed. We didn't get like huge major changes of the PA.
Right.
Nothing.
Through that. We got just
Go
all,
for it.
go back to that slide, Kim. Yeah. Did you have a, James was gonna come in the commercial, but yeah. That video, I think we have then 2 birthdays. Ed, right? Birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you, sir. Calling Wayne out. Wayne had a birthday yesterday.
Looking to
Happy
sell your
birthday to you, sir. Son got married this weekend too, so congratulations. New daughter-in-law. Thank you again for lunch, folks. We're just going to share a quick little video from home, guys. We're going to end it at that. What time we got right now? 12:19. We'll start up the mastermind at about 12:50 to be safe for folks online who want to jump in on that. Other than that, we'll end on that. Thank you for spending your most valuable asset, which is your time with us. Have a great month. Roll it.
Looking to sell your home without all the stress? Minnesota Home Guys will buy your house and put cash in your hand in as little as 3 days. We buy as is. Our stress-free process makes it easy. Contact us, get 3 offers, you choose the price and terms, get cash up front, and close on your schedule. Never any pressure or obligation. We're here to help. 3 offers, 1 call, that's all. 952-649-3200.